Hello, hashtag Verse TV family. I know it's been so long. It's been too long, but we are here. Hashtag Verse TV, freshly reinvented with hashtag Verse TV round two. And today we are welcoming you to the new year because it's the first of the year, first of 2025, and we wanted to start with the first episode of hashtag Verse TV round two. And I'm Aaron Mack, and my theme this year is more value. And it's not just more money value, it's not just that. It's also more value in terms of self worth. Because, yes, that is something that is a work in progress with which I am making progress. More value. Yes. All right. And next,
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. My name is Cato. My theme of the year is going to be to take life one day at a time. I think a lot of times I focus so much on the future that I don't really think enough about the present or I don't enjoy the present. So I'm going to make sure I still keep my future plans and my goals in place, but I'm going to try to be more present in the day and take the day one day at a time.
fabulous. Yes. And the person
Hi
whose camera
everybody,
just
this
went wild.
is basic complexity, and my theme of the year is, I would say, trying, trying to make each upcoming day better than the last, or making improvements to yourself. Does that be major or minor? Just some improvement to yourself.
I love both of those. You're both excellent. Basic complexity, if you could just adjust your camera, friend, because you're off to the side. And let's go ahead and get rolling with the randomly selected question. And it's coming from our good friends at Question in a Box. And I love that app because it has no in app purchases. So that's why I'm very happy and very pleased to speak about them as if I'm speaking about a sponsor. Yep. And questions in a box. Our first question in a box, which will be not narrated by, but managed by Cato, is coming from the big picture section. And the big picture random question from Questions in a Box is what, and we're all being put on the spot with this, oh my gosh, but what do you believe is the source of true joy and happiness? Mm. And Cato, you get to pick the order, however you want people to answer, including yourself.
Okay, I'm going to start with basic complexity, then we'll go Aaron Mack, and then I'm going to go last.
Okay, to answer that question, I would say it, well, for one, it definitely varies by person. So everybody is not gonna have the exact same answer. Might be different for some people, might not, who knows. But I would say definitely that to answer, at least in my opinion, to answer that question, I think it really, on some level, it would particular come down to the person in general. They might look at it one way or another, but like I said, it varies by person. Um, Yeah, some may have I may look at it with high value, some might not. But yeah, like I said, it varies by person. So I can't definitely say it's the same for everyone because it definitely isn't.
I agree I will say yes, it is not the same for everyone. And hey, viewer out there, we're happy to see you. And I agree, it's not the same for everyone. I will also say, and this goes to my theme of the year, talking about more value and how I'm more value for myself as well. Like, I value my existence and increasing that. I think that having self love, self value, self worth for yourself is a part of being the source of true joy. Because when you have that, I believe that you can experience true joy, but you have to love yourself first.
And you have a point.
Thank you. Okay,
All right. So, if you don't mind, will you read the question for me one more time?
certainly. What do you believe is the source of true joy and happiness?
The source of true joy and happiness. I really think it all comes to our themes. We're all trying to look for joy and true happiness, but I think it's kind of being present in the moment, living your moments, and not letting your mind stray too far into the future or get caught too far into the past. Kind of be present, be mindful, enjoy the good times as they are happening, and I guess you would kind of deal with the bad times as they are happening, but to really be present and be mindful so that when you do experience joy, you experience it fully when you have those joyful moments. So I think that would probably be my answer.
Hmm. I love all three of our answers. They're fabulous. And speaking of fabulous, are you all so that was our rando T segment on the show. Rando T, randomly selected question. Ba boom. And now we're going to go into our Tune TV. And I don't want to play it loud enough for us to all hear it, but we will discuss these songs as these songs were the big hits around the time that we were all kids, because none of us were 18 at this time. We were all under the age of 18, but we were all in our teens though, because it is what it is. But these songs come from the year 1999, right on the cusp of the millennium. And I guess I'll pick the order of the answers for this, I think, or something. And the first song is actually by LFO, if you remember them. And the song is, oh, I don't even know why you're doing all that. Anyway, the song is from LFO, and we looked at these in advance, but Girl on TV is the name of that song. And I, my quick answer to, or quick response to Girl on TV by LFO, I remember that song was a big hit on TRL as it was. It got a lot of play there. My favorite song by LFO was actually their first single. Period. Kato.
I actually do not remember that song. It might have been, it's too far back, too far back. I'm getting old.
Stop. No, you're not. We're all early 40s, okay? Fabulous and early 40s. Anyway, We all are freshly 40. Anyway, oh my gosh. But yes, basic complexity, LFO, and
Mm,
that song about a girl.
mm. All right, I do well somewhat vaguely remember the group. I cannot think of the song.
Yeah, girl on TV.
That's
All
fine.
right.
I
And
remember that.
again, these are our quick responses, and that's fine. The next song is Black. And their song, Bring It All to Me. Now, my statement on that is I do recall that song. I will say Bring It All to Me is one of my favorite songs by Black. BLAQUE. Believing always in your quest. Yes,
Is that what that stands for?
it is.
Oh, wow.
Basic complexity next. Why not?
Yeah, the song Bring It All to Me, one that was my favorite song from their debut album.
Yeah.
I love the song personally. I actually personally like the album version better with NSYNC. But I mean the song in general I like overall, period. And yes, that's my take on the song.
I put in sync in quotes because technically it was just two of them. But yes, that is how it was
Well,
labeled,
and
featuring in
I
sync.
believe it.
I thought
Yeah.
it was just Jay Z Chazé. And that's the only thing I remember about that song. Just his verse, his what is it? His thug appeal. That's
Yes, it's thug appeal. Oh my
used to
gosh.
in that song.
And
Yes.
I
I'm
did
digging
make
my Timbs, my
I
baggy jeans,
realized
my thug appeal. Anyway, huh?
I realized that could be told the song was not initially written for NSYNC.
Mhm.
But they took the vocals or the lyrics and sung it. So that worked.
Yeah, JC has an amazing voice.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And he's a fellow PG Countier too, isn't he? Anyway, yes. All right. And after BLAQUE, that's why it's Quest. QUEST. Next, oh my gosh, okay. Donnell Jones featuring Left Eye, the song. I almost want to say Bring It All to Me. The song is You Know What's Up.
Yeah,
You know what's
yeah.
up, okay? And I don't have to be first, so anybody wants to jump in, you can, or I will.
Say what?
Uh,
Say what? Say what? That's the song, right?
Say
Uh,
what, say what, say what? Donnell Jones.
I used to love that song. I
Left Eye.
love Donnell Jones, and I loved Left Eye, so it was a pretty good song. I liked it.
yeah.
My quick statement on it is I too agree. And I'm not gonna lie, like y'all can say, oh, Aaron was such a confused bi boy. But bi boy, because I did kind of have a crush on Left Eye. Anyway, oh my gosh, whatever.
He was beautiful.
Yes, she is. Absolutely. Yes. Basic complexity.
Yeah, I definitely love that song also. And to me, well, definitely worked for Lifetime because she was trying not to say not flat out, but somewhat trying to separate herself from TLC to be known as her own person or artist.
Yep.
And I think
And
she
this,
did a good job.
I agree. And for this really quick segment, I will agree with both of us, all three of us. And our next song is someone who, Missy Elliott, Hot Boys.
That was my song. I think it's still in my rotation today.
Really? Okay.
I'm always looking for a hot boy.
Same.
Or call me.
Diana Ross did this for Call Me once, and I was like, oh, that's Diva. But same. Yes. Well, I value that. The song was cute. It was cute. And watching the video this afternoon, I was like, oh my gosh, Nas. Mm. So he had his hot boy thing set up. But anyway, like I said, I'm off the market. Basic Complexity.
Yeah, I like the song also. Well, anyone that truly knows me knows that I am a big fan of music from the 1990s. And yeah, that was definitely a track that I loved.
Oh, right. And okay. And this is actually the last one. Mark Anthony's I Need to Know.
I think
What I will say about that song is I remember it got a huge amount of airplay. Yes. That's my memory of that song. It got played a whole lot in 1999. But yes.
I think that was my first introduction to Enrique Iglesias, right? No, Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait a minute.
so so that was my first introduction to Mark Anthony, I believe, and I love that song. And I loved him. I thought he was hot.
All right. Basic Complexity.
All right. First off, I completely agree because yeah, young me, yes, I had a crush on her. And yes. That was definitely young me, and I like the song also.
Nice. All right. Well, that's our 5 for that. And now we will move on to the our last T of the episode, and that is the grown T. And that is, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I wanted this to be so smooth, but
I'm singing Mark Anthony in my head as we're sitting here.
yes, Mark Anthony in your head. I know that's right.
I need to know.
Yeah, the song was cute. I know it got played a whole lot. And our topic of this episode, the special full topic, is, and Kevin actually came up with this one, Basic Complexity, had this one, and it is, and we want you all to comment and leave notes in the comments if you how you feel about it. And it's just to, is it wrong or is it right? Just that simple. And having any attraction to a convicted criminal with television coverage. And my response, is it wrong or is it right? I go with right, to have a, like, yeah, they're a convicted criminal. I go with right though. And Cato, before we speak about it, but just a simple right or wrong.
I feel like it's right.
Okay. In Basic Complexity, we'll be right back, right back. And in the meantime, I will give my perspective on it. Or do you want to give your perspective, Cato?
I can go. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. You know what? You give your perspective. I'll go after you.
The reason I said it's right because I feel like don't beat yourself up if you find yourself having the hots for a convicted killer or a somebody who's on trial for whatever crime. Don't beat yourself up because the fact that they committed a crime, no matter how heinous it may be, it doesn't take away from the fact that they are attractive. If you're attractive, then you're attractive. Um, I remember I can't remember what they were calling him, but that one guy, his mugshot, and I think he wound up getting a modeling career after that, after he got out of jail, because he had the most perfect mugshot and he was so beautiful and everybody loved him and was falling over him, and he actually became a model. So hopefully he's a upstanding citizen right now.
Agreed. That would be great. And I agree with you that it shouldn't take away from, in a bit, it doesn't make them any less human, right? So if they were attractive before, they could still be attractive. I also understand how some people could be like, no, once I found that out about you, I found out that you can do this heinous crime. I, I cannot still find you attractive. And I get that because it's like, I understand how someone's personality or something about the way that a person is can bring them up in your eyes and also bring them down in your eyes, you know? So
Mhm.
just like me with my attractions, I know back in the day, oh my gosh, back when I was dating quite a bit, looking for love everywhere, I know that I would very strongly feel that if when a person's personality, I notice that, oh, you're kind of an a-hole, I don't find them attractive anymore. That's just how I am. Kato, would you say you're the same way or similar, or does it matter?
What I do is I've had people that I didn't quite see physically what everybody else saw or what anybody would see, but because they were so kind and they were so nice, I would kind of look at them like, oh, you know what? You're kind of cute. And it kind of happens after I realize that someone is a good person. But I don't know if I've ever gone back, like after they, or not specifically that person, but after a person who was attractive has done something I don't agree with. I don't know that I've ever gone back and thought, like, I don't see them the same way. But I definitely go forward.
I get that. And I absolutely have gone back with some people because I think for me, a large part of a large part of my attraction to someone comes from their personality or what I perceive their personality to be. And upon finding out that, hey, you're not really that person, that brings it down for me. I also wanted to say, though, as far as being attracted to people, my cute story or whatever, the guy who, as we wait for basic complexity to come back, the guy who was in trouble because he ate his roommate's brain. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. He was in college and he ate his roommate's brain or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, like his mugshot was like cute. Like I was like, oh, he's so. And this is what I'm gonna ask you. Hopefully Kevin will come back in the meantime. Basic complexity comes back in the meantime. But I know when it comes to, and this kind of cancels out what I said just a moment. No, I don't think it cancels it out. They're two separate things. When it comes to having an attraction to somebody, we can do mental acrobatics to make them attractive in our eyes and excuse their wrongdoing. For example, I was on a public bus. Those who know DC back in the day, I was on the 70 bus, and there's substance behind that. But I was on the 70 bus, and this woman sneezed without covering her mouth, and I was like, "Ew, that's like to myself." In my mind, I felt, "Oh, that's disgusting. Why would she do that?" But basic complexity is back. We'll get his. Yeah, we can get it before I tell the story. Excellent. All right. So I was just um, finishing my answer to that first question of, and it sounds like you're on mute, friend, but
Money on mute.
you are on mute. Okay. Yep.
There we go.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. And the woman sneezed on the bus without covering her mouth, and I was like, "Ew, that's so gross. What did you grow up in a barn?" And that's what I was thinking to myself. But then a beautiful brother sneezed on the bus, and he did not cover his mouth.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was like, in my mind, I was like, "Oh, baby, do you need some chicken noodle soup? Let me be the one to help nurse you back to health." Okay, even though neither one of them covered their mouths when they sneezed on the bus, but because I was attracted to him, I excused him, and it wasn't even an issue. And I realized we can do stuff like that when it comes to people committing crimes. Like I used to love me some Cassidy in school, and I remember people had the free Cassidy t-shirts and everything. Anyway, basic complexity. Your answer to this part, we were finishing up with the question of right or wrong or right. Having any kind of attraction to a convicted criminal with a television with television coverage.
All right. And I mean, some might not agree with me with this, but I'm just gonna call out for what it is. In certain cases, the criminal could very well be attractive. If they are, I'll grant them that and only that. Be very specific. I could definitely admit someone is attractive, but if they are, and going extreme here, but I'm just making a point. If they're like axe murderer, then all right, yeah, they might be attractive, but yeah, I like the way they look, not what they did.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I agree.
Yeah.
So, if their crime is just that they sneezed without covering their mouths, what do you all think about that? Do you all think that would you all be able to maintain an attraction to somebody on the bus who sneezed without covering their mouth? Or
No.
would it be like, no, I am done? Ew, you are gross.
I I would immediately lose that attraction.
Really? You would
Yeah,
lose
yes,
attraction?
yes. And the reason why I say that is because it shows me that they really have no um they have no thought of the other people around them. So yeah, I don't want you at that point.
That's
I
interesting.
don't agree with that. I think
Really?
maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. Maybe it was their first time riding the bus and baby just needed a a loving hand to warm him.
Or
Maybe he
cover his
got a
mouth
chill
with-
and didn't. I'm sorry, Kata.
You said he needs a warm hand. I said maybe to cover his mouth with.
Or something. I don't. Maybe. But he was beautiful. Kato, where do you stand on that? If he sneezed on the bus without covering his mouth, is that a deal breaker for you? For your
So
attraction?
I think basic complexity has made me change my answer just slightly because what I was thinking before is it doesn't change the fact that they're still attractive. I would still be
Right.
like, "Good, why would he do that? Like maybe I could teach him to cover his mouth when he sneezes." However,
Yes.
to think about the fact that that could be a personality thing where you just don't consider the people around you. That could be a red flag. So you start dating this person, they're coughing and sneezing and not covering their mouth. They just don't. That's just one of the symptoms of them not really caring too much about the people around them. That backfire on you in a relationship.
Wow.
I might have to go too far, but
No,
No,
that's
point.
fair. And that actually got me to think about this, and I'm going to ask you all how you feel about it. But they say, for example, when you go out on a date with someone, if they're rude to the wait staff, that's pretty much how they're going to treat you eventually.
Yes.
And I kind of think that's true. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if I can say that's true, but I can say that is an example of a turnoff for me. I would be
Yeah.
like, ew, okay. No
Mhm.
matter how fine he is. Okay? Period. Cato, basic complexity.
Personally, I agree.
Rude to the
That's
wait
a
staff.
major turnoff.
Yeah.
I think I agree as well, and I think I might go so far as to kind of call them out on it, like, "Why are you being so rude?"
Yeah.
Which could ruin the date anyway. And but they may need that somebody to tell them in the moment, like, this is not cool, and you're supposed to be putting your best foot forward right now, and you're not doing that right now.
Hmm.
And what it comes down to, really, that I'm sorry to put it like this, but on some level, that comes down to home training.
I
Mhm.
love how you said that. Okay.
Just because I was raised like that was a automatic no.
Mhm.
I have another question. We have like 2 minutes and then we're going to close this episode. But you talk about home training. That's interesting. And FYI, we're from three different parts of the country. Basic Complexity grew up in between Virginia and Maryland, mostly Maryland. Cato grew up in Ohio. I grew up in upstate New York for the first part. Well, New York for the first part of my life. New Orleans, Louisiana for the second part of my childhood. I had never heard the phrase home training until I moved to New Orleans. So I have to ask you, Cato, have you heard the phrase home training before?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess I was just out of the loop, but okay.
Sometimes I give people I don't know. It's a I go back and forth because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, but when it comes to being rude to people, you definitely should not be rude to wait staff.
Well, that did what it did at a perfect time because I am going to, unless you all were saying something, it sounded like you did the great thing and kept going.
Yeah,
Finish the combo.
I just had a little point about giving people grace in some periods points because when it comes to home training, you don't know what you don't know. So if you weren't taught, you can't hold it against the person. But when it comes to being rude, that's you should know better. Um, I don't think there's a nobody's brought up and don't know better. That's all I got.
All right. Well, hashtag Verse TV family. Oh, huh. That's okay. Yeah. I always want you to upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade, but that's another story. Sorry, y'all, but let's go ahead and I don't know if we can turn it back on. We might have to just end it. But talk to y'all later. Hashtag Verse TV family. Signing off again. This is am I looking in the camera?
I can see you.
All right.
Yeah.
This is Aaron Mack, and I'm signing off. Happy 2025. This is episode 1. Hashtag Verse TV round 2. And next,
I'm Cato. Enjoy the rest of your year. Take it one day at a time.
And basic complexity, and yeah, like Kato just said, it's the start of a new year. We get out to be the best. All right.